Rick.
Great.
Hi.
Morning, Bruce.
Good morning.
Rick.
Can you hear us okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Okay, we just opened the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so we did the pledge. Number 2, approval of minutes from May 22nd, 2017 regular meeting and from June 7th, 2017 special meeting.
Move approval. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. For selectmen's comments, I'll defer till later. Citizen comments. There are no citizens. Okay.
There are citizens that want to comment.
Yeah. Old business, number 5, department update for the health department. Trent Joseph is here for it to talk to us this morning.
How we doing? First, thanks guys for giving me this opportunity to give you the update. So to date, the health department has generated roughly $35,800 compared to the original revenues in fiscal year 15-16, which was $2,100. We successfully brought on board a new administrative assistant, that's Sarah Reed, a volunteer health educator, and seek to get a full-time health inspector. All department applications and permits have been revamped to a more streamlined modern-day template. The implementation of a new and/or more uniform record-keeping and documenting process has allowed for more cohesiveness within the department with the existing program, which we know is View Permit. Earlier in the year, the health department developed new ordinances for the Madison Code. As a result, there's been more compliance with the Connecticut Public Health State Code across the town. The goal of the whole rewriting of the ordinance was to ensure that we had water that was safe to drink, clean restaurants to protect us from any foodborne illnesses, and septic sewage systems that were in compliance that would protect our community from any diseases. Again, there's still more that can be done, that will be done coming down the pipeline. I'm just happy to say we have now established our foundation. In the same efforts to prevent illness, we've been promoting good health. The Madison Health Department is now an affiliate of the Healthier Grade New Haven Partnership. Through that partnership, we were able to host our first ever Get Healthy Connecticut Walk and Talk event, and look to host more, maybe one more in the summertime. In early October, the Health Department also hosted a residential electronics day collection, or electronics recycling day, in lieu of the last minute cancellation of our household hazardous waste. We'll look to do both this upcoming year. Well, upcoming in October. Both events were a success. As we're getting ready for bathing season, I should also note that the health department recently concluded our coastal water quality project with the Yale School of Public Health. The findings were insignificant, therefore preemptive beach closing for 2-inch more of rain isn't applicable to the town, and the health department will still continue to sample weekly during this bathing season and send them up to the lab. If there's any other questions or comments, I'm open.
That's great, thank you. Thank you.
Trent, more than a year ago, this Board of Selectmen had an extremely lively discussion about what's the best way to deliver public health services in this town, and I don't want to have that discussion again. That's a settled matter.
Right.
I am interested in the, as I remember, the State Department of Health has 9 general objectives for local health departments, and I was wondering if we could just review what those 9 are and either where we are or where we're headed for each of those 9.
Well, essentially, the 9 essential services of public health, it's very discretionary based on the town you serve. I didn't note that, but we'll also be moving out, which is very important that I kept it out. We'll be doing our community health assessment as early as this fall. That's one of the main services that you should be doing for public health. And it's ultimately going to open up more venues and avenues to how do we address the town, what is the problem in the town in terms of promoting good health. And the other services, if you will, are related to environmental health. And we've been doing that and working in that direction. One of them is strengthening your town regulations and then working from there. But you know, we'll be doing the community health assessment with the Southern Graduate School. They'll be my partner there, and services other than that, we're going to continue to try to reach them. But the town of Madison, with 18,000 people, a lot of the services, aren't applicable to our demographics. Right.
Thank you.
Trent, I'm just interested, what takes up most of your time? Like, what do you, if you're, is it sewage issues, is it restaurants, is it, testing soil down at the surf club? Like, what dominates sort of the health department's focus?
Well, Scott, I get this question a lot. Everything that I pretty much discuss is a snapshot of my day. You usually probably coordinate with engineers for new development. You're making sure that your routine inspections for food establishments are up to date. That's after the fact. You're making sure that your in-house processes are in store, making everything more user-friendly for when you do step out in the office. That's why I thank Sarah Reed for being on board with me now, and Maria Patella and Mary, everybody who was up front, helping and who are cross-trained. But that's pretty much a day for me. I'm, wearing all hats. You can be a social worker, environmental health specialist, and then sometimes you're, you're a physician for some.
Now, do you
just answer questions.
Do you tend to interface a lot with Madison Youth and Family, as an example?
Me and Madison Youth and Family, we haven't. Most recently, we haven't coordinated for any of our services. But that's what the community health assessment is going to bring on, because we're going to have focus groups and everything where we'd have to coordinate.
I'd like to test a couple of the town historians that might be in the room. Many, many years ago, this town government used to have some kind of a public health commission or a Selectmen's Advisory Council on Health. And I'm wondering what happened to it and why, and was it a good idea? Was it a terrible idea?
That one doesn't know. Before my time, Al.
How many years ago was this?
Oh, Al has got a good memory. It goes back 75 years.
It's been more than 20, I'm sure, but it was a body, I think, that advised the Board of Selectmen on what some of the public health needs might be in town. And it sounded like a meritorious body, but I don't know what happened to it. I'm sure there's a good reason it disappeared. But
Probably didn't do much, so it went away.
I guess, Trent, I was wondering whether some kind of you mentioned focus groups, I was wondering whether some kind of a citizens advisory body would be helpful to help identifying, what services, if any, should be provided on the municipal level. That's the intent of my question. I'm kind of springing it on you. I don't expect.
Is that kind of the focus of your survey?
Yes, I mean, that's the general scope. I mean, we're going to allocate about 2 to 3 months of study where we have to collect data. That's going to be giving out surveys. We did want to do it for our seasonal population, but we figured let's get a better snapshot of who's in town mostly year-round. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're going to start it the fall semester. And 3 months of collecting data, surveying everybody. We're going to work with the chambers, any other town, player, if you will. And that's ultimately what we're going to figure out what the town of Madison needs. If it's falls prevention, if it's hypertension, those are the things that this community assessment is going to address.
Well, perhaps this citizens group may be an idea whose time has passed, but maybe we'll revisit it at some point when we have some more data about what we think might need to be done.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be helpful just to react to the survey results, even just to get a group of citizens together and sort of, bounce the ideas around to help you more than anything else.
Yeah,
so.
right.
And it's a way for you to connect with the community.
I just want to mention, I went to the walk and talk, and I think it was pretty successful in terms of attendance, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was.
For our
we
first
had,
one.
Where was it? Where did you do it?
We had it at Hammonasset.
Awesome.
Right.
We walked the Shoreline Greenway Trail section.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So they went up 4 times during the day?
Yeah, so we had a total of, the weather was shaky that day, but we had 24 to 27 arrive for the walk and talk. And that was, The walk and talk was an event that we held where you can walk with a health professional who's from town. Yes, we did grab, a chiropractor from Guilford and other people from like Branford, but there was healthcare professionals available for people who were doing the walk.
Great. Thanks a lot, Trent.
Thanks,
Thank you.
New business, discuss and take action to approve the appointment of Christopher Colmatch, is that right?
Yep. That's
Of the
Nancy.
Swan Funeral Home as Sub-Registrar of Vital Statistics for the Town of Madison pursuant to CGS Section 7-65B.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I've got something for you to
Aye.
sign. You can sign on it. Thank you, Bruce. Number 7, discuss and take action to approve changing the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen from July 24th, 2017 to July 17th, 2017 at 7 p.m. in Town Campus, Room A.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 8, discuss and take action to approve the following resolution. The Town of Madison Board of Selectmen hereby moves to amend, alter, and/or modify the Town of Madison Defined Benefit Pension Plan, Town of Madison Deferred Compensation Plan, and Section 401A Plan, specifically and solely in accordance with Article 10, pension of the 2017-2020 collective bargaining agreement between the Madison Board of Education and the Cafeteria Employees Collective Bargaining Union, such that all employees who meet the requirements of the Madison Retirement Commission are eligible for a pension as provided by the Town of Madison, and employees hired on or after July 1st, 2017, and current employees not defined benefit pension plan eligible shall not be eligible for participation in the defined benefit pension as provided by the Town of Madison. Said employees shall only be eligible for participation in the Town of Madison Deferred Compensation Plan and 401A Plan consistent with its terms, and the employees shall be required to contribute at least 3% of the base salary, but may contribute up to the maximum amount allowed by law. The town shall match employees' contributions up to a maximum of 4% of base salary. The town's contribution shall not vest until the employee has been continuously employed for 5 years.
So moved.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Anybody want to say anything about it?
Unless
Pretty
you-
much says it all, huh?
Question is pretty
But
self-explanatory.
I'm just trying to understand what employee group this applies to.
This is our NAGE union group, which is our cafeteria workers. The Board of Education at its last meeting just ratified the new contract. One of the provisions of the new contract, much like the town has been doing, is that any new employees or newly eligible employees as of July 1 of 17, which is the date of the new contract, can no longer participate in the Town of Madison Defined Benefit Pension Plan, but will participate in the Town of Madison Defined Contribution Plan. As the resolution stated, it's a 3% matching. It's a mandatory contribution of 3%, 3% matching up to 4%. Essentially, since the town is the owner of the pension plan, we have to come to the board to have you guys bless that change in the provision of the union contract.
Has the actuary been made aware of this change?
I have not directly spoken, but I know that that's been a kind of our long-term plan, is to move all of our union groups away from the defined benefit plan into the defined contribution plan.
The motion's been sent both to the actuary and also the 2 law firms that are working on updating the town's pension plan right now.
And this language was developed by whom, Deb?
Our attorneys that negotiated the board's union contract in consultation with their pension attorney, and has obviously been shared with Mrs. Millardo to share as appropriate from the town side.
Any budget implications for the year we're about to enter that haven't been franked in?
No.
Thank you.
I have to admit, I feel fairly uninformed on this topic, so,
It's a good thing.
yeah, it's definitely a good
It's
thing.
moving away from the defined benefit
Right.
to a defined contribution, which makes it much better for both the employee and the employer.
I'll just make it maybe simple from the financial point of view, but essentially the cost to participate in the defined benefit plan is 10 to 11% of the employee wage. As you can see by that resolution, we're now replacing that with a plan which would be 3 to 4% of the employee wage. So it is a savings to both the Board of Education and the
That
town.
is very helpful, thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Sometimes you just have to dumb it down for the non-finance
I
guys.
saw that.
Yeah, do you see my, like, a glaze go over when you say?
Okay, number 9, discuss and take action to approve the first selectman.
Did we vote on this?
I think you got votes
All that talk.
You glazed over too.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right.
Number 9, discuss and take action to approve the first selectman signing a memorandum of understanding between the town of Madison and the town of Clinton regarding regional sharing of Ridge Road radio tower facility. The memorandum of understanding is in your packet.
Yep.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Number 10, discuss and take action on State of Connecticut Department of Transportation's proposal to cancel the Shoreline Greenway Trail's existing project number and initiate a new project. Once again, the letter from the DOT is in your packet, and that's pretty straightforward. If we don't get back to them by July 1st, accepting this opportunity, they will cancel the project anyway. And so,
Tom, have we specifically consulted with the Shoreline Greenway Trail on taking this action?
I told them what we were told. You know, I mean, I showed them
Do we have any reason to believe that they have a problem with us taking this action?
I think they would have a problem if we didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then the project is canceled, right?
I want
Yeah.
to make sure they were consulted.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have a motion.
So moved.
I think I seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 11, discuss and take action
Hey,
to...
did that get moved and seconded?
Yes, it did.
It did.
Okay.
Just before the vote. Number 11, discuss and take action to approve the acceptance of up to $15,000 from the Workforce Alliance in a state grant to reimburse the town to pay the wages of the participants in the Summer Youth Employment Program to be facilitated by Madison Youth and Family Services. The program will run from July through September and place 5 to 7 Madison teens who qualify for the program in part-time summer jobs within our community. The program may be more limited if funded at lower amount and would likely be canceled if the grant is totally eliminated.
That's rather grim.
So moved.
I'm here to discuss that.
Good.
Second.
Exactly, yes.
Wendy?
Yeah, the Workforce Alliance grant that we applied for last year, we got 10,000. We put in the request for 15,000, and we're not sure we're being told that because of funding and cuts, we may see half, maybe even half of what we got last year. So if that were to come to be, we will shorten the experience, but still serve as many kids we're hoping. It was very successful last year. We were able to give part-time positions for some of the kids that are in our more special needs, and provide them with an experience that was positive. So we'd like your approval of up to 15, but we might see less.
What were some examples of where we place some of the kids?
They were placed, and some of the placings that we've got coming up is RJ Julia's. There's the, we had a landscape last year. There was someone in one of the restaurants. So there's different people within the community that are getting the service, but we're paying the wages. And the wages are paid back to the town 100%.
Great.
Neat.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Wendy.
Number 12, discuss and take action to approve a special appropriation request from the Madison Hose Company Number 1 in the amount of $12,426.48 for the purchase of a new rescue boat engine.
Did we do this already?
Yeah,
Did we do this on?
Let's make a motion.
What did we do Wednesday?
So moved.
Why don't you make a motion, we'll discuss it.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. This is only to change the source of the funds, right? We were going to be taking it out of the fire truck fund,
Correct.
and instead they wanted us, the Board of Finance the other night at their meeting asked that we take it out of,
Fund balance.
So it had to come back to us?
Yeah.
well, just because we're getting it from a different
Different
place.
source.
So it's still the same,
The shell
appropriation,
game.
it's just a different source.
Yeah, it's financial record keeping.
Yes, right.
It's not a
Right,
shell game.
Right. Well played.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 13,
Aye.
discuss and take action to approve a donation in the amount of $3,000 from Neighbor to Neighbor to Madison Youth and Family Services for supplementary funding for summer camp.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mm-hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
In a similar vein, number
Get
14,
through all yours.
discuss and take action to approve a donation in the amount of $5,000 from Neighbor to Neighbor to Madison Youth and Family Services for emergency funding for individuals and families.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 15, discuss and take action to approve the resignation of Barbara Yeager from the Inland Wetlands Commission.
So moved with regret and thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barbara's been on for quite a long time, and she's done a great job. And it's only because things have gotten too busy in her business that she has to step down. So we do appreciate
How many
all
years has
that
she
she's
done
done. I'd say maybe 12.
Wow.
Could be. Any motion?
I did.
Motion,
I believe,
you
with
second.
regret and
Oh,
thanks.
that's right. Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 16, the following line transfers are designated as routine and appropriate for approval as a single action by the Board of Selectmen if so desired. The board member may request removal of any line item, any line transfer item from the consent agenda for review and discussion. The motion is to approve line transfers totaling $18,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just, this is being transferred from,
Art's operating account to his technology reserve account. What happened last year is he asked for funding for connectivity between the senior center and youth and family services. That funding was eliminated during that whole budget process where we had to go back and make changes.
yeah.
We did agree to restore funding for all those reductions at the beginning of this current fiscal year. However, if he did do that item, it would have been a normal operating expenditure going forward every year, so he opted not to do that. Now he's asking to reimburse his technology reserve fund for other items that he has done, for example, the sound system in here and other things. So he's asking just to simply move the money over.
What is the data backup system? You know what that is? He says, what that is. Sounds very official.
The technology
Sure,
stuff.
Yeah, from technology stuff.
It goes along with
The
the
shell game.
I think the fact is that we don't use the cloud for backup, so this is our
Right.
backup system.
So we actually,
He's got a lot of stuff.
we host it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Makes sense.
several backup areas.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
17, tax abatements refunds in the amount of
1,707.
1717.
02. Yes, you gotta be specific. Right.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 18, citizens' comments.
Same comments we had in the beginning.
Wow. Yeah.
Number 19, liaison reports, selectmen comments. I'll just start off quickly by mentioning that tomorrow night's public hearing on the Shoreline Greenway Trail proposal will be moved from this room to the Hammonasset room. We're expecting a few more people than this room might accommodate, so.
Tom, that meeting tomorrow night, it's technically an information session, not a hearing, so we will be taking no action.
No.
And who's running it? Who's officially running the meeting? Is it Shoreline Greenway Trail?
Yeah.
They're going to make their proposal, you know, and then I think we'll probably, I'll be there to moderate if I need to, but I think it's just going to be pretty much, they make their proposal and then we'll accept comments from the public.
Are we expected to, is it like a Q&A kind of a thing with the public, or is it just comments, people?
Well, Michael will be
talking?
there.
And Michael will be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there, but we don't have any official role,
Okay,
except to be a public.
right.
Okay, anybody else? Any reports?
I do, I have a couple. I was privileged to attend last week 2 events. First was the first annual Daniel Hand Tigers Unified Sports Banquet, which was on Monday, June 5th. And it was hosted by SEPTO, and Coach Matt Link presented awards to the kids. It was an incredibly rewarding evening. Many student participants received their varsity letter, which I thought was wonderful. So just wanted to make sure we updated that. And then secondly, I attended the MAID award ceremony and sat with Wendy at her table on Tuesday night. MAID is the Madison Alcohol and Drug Education Group, and their steering committee hosted this wonderful event called Celebrating the Anchors in Our Community. And these are for young people that are making a difference in our community. So on behalf of the community, MAID, and Madison Youth and Family, I would like to acknowledge the following winners. So Clay Nibbs, Carter Soboleski, and Kyle Citrin had a wonderful video that was shared with the group on stress. Owen McGeary, Ben D'Onofrio, Patrick Fahey, Juliette Brown, Gianna Catalano, and Jack Baumgartel, all were award winners during this lovely evening. Tina Garrity was the MAID chair, and she was the host of the event. So those are two things. And then lastly, as many of you know, we have been a bit of a standstill with respect to the field construction project at, just given our beach and rec folks have been so busy. So as such, our town engineer got creative and has been pulling local contractors together to help us start to complete the project. So I'm excited that seems to be moving forward in a very positive manner. And I know they're getting on the field as early as this week to start helping us bring that project to closure. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob?
No report.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one other, sorry. Can I say one other? I also attended, I think it was it last weekend? You were there too, Tom. The Salt Meadow sort of open house where there were bird walks and nature sort of walks going on in the park on my son's Eagle project, which was kind of cool to have so many people attending that. There was a band that played and book signings and all that. So it was a really, really nice day, nice event. And I was glad to attend.
Thank you.
I'm going to report on the police commission. Our colleagues, the Board of Police Commissioner, had a far-ranging discussion about possible future regionalism along the shoreline in terms of sharing police services, police department assets, ways of working together even more so than currently. And while there's no specific active discussion going on at the moment, it's believed that both due to state policy, due to state budget cutbacks, and due to increasing receptivity on the part of various towns along the shoreline, that such discussions about combining the efforts of shoreline police departments might indeed happen. The police department, the police commissioners sort of observed and wanted to share with us the notion that if and when such discussions get started, that those discussions need to take place between at least 3 different groups from the towns involved. One are what I call the professional to professional, chief to chief kinds of discussions. The second would be police commission to police commission kinds of discussions. And thirdly, selectmen to selectmen kinds of discussions, should we really want to move down that road. The police commissioners felt it was very important that we recognize that all 3 levels have to be involved for the sake of transparency and to make sure that no one body feels left behind. So that's kind of a future conversation that may not be that far into the future. The second thing I wanted to bring up is sort of a public service announcement from the chief. Our summer downtown parking rules are in effect, the 3-hour rules in many parts of our downtown area. And the chief just wanted to remind the public that those rules will be enforced. So,
Chalk on your tires?
Yeah, and we have changed the 2-hour parking to 3 hours, so it does give you a little more time.
Yeah.
And just one other item about the police department. 1 o'clock today, they're starting their first blood drive over at the police station. So anybody who's here who would want to give blood today, there would be an opportunity.
Great.
Hearing no other reports, I'll ask for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thanks, Bruce.
Guys.
Bruce.